Thanks again for listening. Once again, our goal here is to learn more about you, the athlete. Our goal here is to learn more about you, the student athlete. Our goal here is to learn more about you, the sports parent. Our goal here is to learn more about how you see things. We're here to learn more about your emotions, how you make your decisions. From there, we want to help you overcome fear. We want to help you create better confidence. We want to help you become a better decision maker. As I said before, part of what this is about is providing information, knowledge, wisdom, and insight to help the student athlete, sports parent, and coach within themselves, their organizations, and their communities. And one of the ways that we do that is the facilitation of the Sports Mastery Mastermind Group. To learn more about the Sports Mastery Mastermind Group, visit sportsmastery.com/mastermind. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, heroes and villains. I'm your host, Tre'Shawn Thurman. I know your time is precious, so we're going to get right into today's episode. In today's episode, I have two unique individuals coming on our show, and that's Jazz Johnson and Tre'Shawn Thurman of the University of Nevada-Reno basketball. Tre'Shawn is a forward and Jazz Johnson is a point guard on the team. This is a unique interview because my co-host, Leland Johnson, is the dad of Jazz Johnson. So we're going to have a conversation. So I want to say some things from the outset that we got this interview done spur of the moment. I didn't realize it was going to happen really until it did. I was in the middle of a training session once I got the confirmation. So I was at my clinic, didn't have the mic, didn't have the head set up. I had to go back to one of the back office clinic spaces. So we just kind of made this happen. So the audio is going to sound a little different. It's going to sound like we're in a tunnel at times. I really feel that it came out good. Those guys are in a hotel room with Leland. Last weekend they were in Las Vegas for a preseason tournament. So this is good. They speak about a prior game. They speak about their upcoming game. But what really impressed me about speaking with these gentlemen is the way they articulate themselves. And they articulate themselves in a way that it is the epitome of being a student athlete. I like the examples that they give. I like how they talk from personal experience. I like how they give the insight of where they are right now. I like how they can look, from the past and where they see themselves going into the future. So if you're a sports parent, if you're a student athlete, especially a basketball athlete, this is one that you're going to want to listen to a couple of times over. So without further ado, we're going to get into the show. Before you go any further, however, please pause this. Head over to iTunes. Look us up at Sports Mastery. Give us a 5-star rating and review. Leave us a review. Our goal is to grow this podcast, do more podcasts per week, but have guests like this on the show. People that are living the Division I experience. People that are living the Division II, NAI, Division III experience. We want to uncode some information so that we can give that to you so you can make the best decisions. You can make the best decisions, related to your circumstance in terms of going into the future. That's what this is about. We're here to give you information. We're here to give you answers. We're here to educate you on making the best decisions going forward so you could be successful in your student athlete endeavors, but more importantly, in life. And now, back to the show.
We played at the University of Tulsa.
Right. Yeah. How did that game go?
It went well. We got a lot of stuff we got to work on. We got to work on defense without fouling. But overall offense was pretty solid. And, we're just happy to come out with a win.
Now, from what I understand, y'all about to play tonight, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Tre'Shawn, what position you play?
I play forward.
Forward? How did you get to Nevada-Reno?
So I first went to the University of Nebraska-Omaha, played 3 years there, then I transferred after my junior year. Set out last year, and now I'm playing this year. And so, Coach messed me up when I was transferring. I just loved everything about the program and where it was headed in, and I just loved it. Committed.
So let me get this straight. You're a senior this year or a junior?
I'm a senior.
Okay, I got you. So you trying to go out with a bang.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, what made you decide to transfer?
Really just player progression, I guess. Just trying to get better. I thought I was doing a pretty good job in my last school, but I thought they had got me to a point where I was like, they got me as far as they could, and I knew that I could, if I wanted to play at the next level, wherever that may be, I had to get better defensively for the most part, and then perimeter skills as well. So.
Right. How long you been knowing Leland?
I guess I've been knowing him for a year, since me and Jazz have been roommates and stuff. And Jazz had told me a lot about him. I just heard a lot of stories about him, and now this is the first time I came in contact with him face to face. Cool dude. So. Yeah.
Did you shake his hand this morning?
No.
You ain't had that beast yet.
Hey. I was telling them that we were right now we're hitting the adversity subject right now, and I told them I was going to ask them more about dealing with adversity by being in the top 10 team situation in the nation. Just tell Tre'Shawn and tell the crowd, tell the people out there some of the things that you guys go through outside of your environment and also inside of your environment, as far as dealing with adversity with your teammates.
Now, hold on. Before you answer that, I want you to talk specifically to like dudes that's like in high school, or they so-called got these AAU rankings, and to that audience that think that they could play at the next level, but you there now, and there's some things that you didn't really learn till you got there. So think about that kind of knowledge and wisdom that that they need to hear, that no matter what, they ain't getting it until they run into somebody like you.
And just, staying in the gym, and especially as like with a team aspect, it's just more about staying together. And like you guys said, like you're going to go through adversity, and especially with us being a top 10 team, we're getting everybody's best shot. So, we're going to go through stuff ourselves, but it's more important that we recognize that it's more about the team than individual stats and, getting wins at the end of the day.
As far as the adversity thing, it's kind of like with me growing up, I feel like I was an underrated guy in high school. I kind of just kept working, kept playing, kept hooping, just trusting myself, my ability. I think the biggest thing that I found out throughout that whole process is finding a role and accepting your role throughout whatever it may be, in your sport. So what I mean by that is, you could be in high school right now averaging 25, 30, whatever that may be. You could be killing it in your state, in your city. You could be on a national team, playing the nationals, whatever that may be. Get to college, and it's a whole different story. And so when you get to that college level and you want to play, let's say, and this is about playing first. You want to play first before you can do anything else. You want to average 20, you want to double, you want to first team, whatever. You got to be on the court to do any of that first. So you got to do whatever it takes to get on the court, which means you could be a scorer in high school, but the concept that. But before that, you got to find it. Like I said, so you got to find your role first, too. So some teams might already have a score. They might ask you to come score. They might ask you to come get stops. They might ask you to come rebound. Whatever stuff, some stuff you just haven't done before. You got to be cool with that as a person first, if you want to be successful. And then your role can grow as you get better. That's teams change and you get older, whatever that may be. But you got to be cool. Yeah, you got to be cool with whatever role you're given. So it might not be the role you want. But whatever the role is that's given to you, or you might look at a team and you might say, oh, they have enough scoring, but enough of these guys on the team aren't getting stops. So you might take that responsibility yourself, like, man, I got to get more stops for this team. Like little stuff like that, you got to be cool with that, because that's going to help the team. The team is big. When you're in college, in high school, yeah, you can kind of be, I'm not saying selfish, but you kind of be to yourself on your own little mission, on your own little goal. But in college, it's about the team, because that's going to help y'all be more successful down the road. If you want to get wins, it's about winning to me. To me, it's always about winning. You got to be cool with whatever it takes to win. And that's going to help everybody else get to where they want to be on a future standpoint of professional. You got to win first.
Now, I could see you, bro, and that either that T-shirt is a little young on you, or you've been in the weight room. As a hooper, I'm just going to veer to the side that you've been in the weight room with Jazz. What's the biggest thing you noticed about, strength training for basketball in college versus high school? Because, we're around dudes that don't believe in lifting, that's so-called at the top of the food chain out here?
I can go first. All right, so it's crazy you asked that because when I was in high school, I didn't like lifting at all. I thought it was lame. I thought it was like whatever. Like I just did it because we had some times where we lifted like once or twice a week in high school. It wasn't nothing like we were on a program or nothing. But I didn't really like it like that. I thought it was for the football team. Like, that's what I was in the mindset. I thought lifting was for the football team. So getting to college though, you understand if you're not lifting, you're not going to do nothing. You're not going to be able to do nothing with these guys. There's some grown men out here, 23, 22-year-olds. You coming in, you could be 17 or 18. You might have the skill, but you're not going to have the ability to finish at the rack. You might be able to get to the rack. You're not going to be able to finish at the rack. Or you're going to be down low, but you're not going to be able to get positioned down low. It's like that stuff right there, that's different. Being down low and having position down low is different. Being positioned in the rebound and just being around the rebound is different. That's the difference between 5 rebounds and 10 rebounds. So the weight room has been so important for me, especially coming to Nevada and understanding it from a nutrition standpoint. I was in my last school understanding like I was lifting, I was getting bigger, but from a nutrition standpoint and a sleep standpoint, it's going to help you on your progression on the court as well as just playing better and just being better and feeling better.
That's right. On that, especially for me being smaller, like I was able to get away with it at like Portland in high school, but I really had to start taking my body serious and really get in the weight room. But being around my dad, I always really lifted, but it was more important that I got my nutrition together. And then, like I said, being small, like I got to be able to handle guys because there's going to be switches and there's always going to be guards, especially today. Point guards are 6'7" now, so I got to be able to hold my own. And the weight room is basically everything. You got to have the skill, of course, but you got to be able to be durable as well.
I want to say one more thing to that. I ain't saying to like the young hoopers out there, you got to love to lift, but you got to understand that you need to lift. That's what the type of thing it is. It could be some days we go into the weight room and some dudes just dragging around like, man, I don't feel like lifting today. But we all know we need to get that lifting. So it's like that. Like you got to understand you need this. Like it's something you need. I'm not even asking you. It's not optional. You need to get in there and you need to do that because that stuff is going to take your game to a whole different level. It's not just about points and stuff like that. That's that other stuff. That lifting is going to take your game to a different level on the court.
Right. Lee, I
got a question to ask you.
Leland, hold on, Leland. I want you to sit on your hands for a few more minutes. Now, Jazz, while I got you on,
go ahead.
Jazz, I know you've been labeled as the short point guard. Dudes done called you the running back playing point guard. I remember Leland was telling me all these stories when you was in 3rd, 4th grade, the little fat ass point guard, how dudes would want to guard you, when you was going through your growth phase. What was that like when you hear these dudes think back like 8, 9, 10 years ago when people was putting these so-called labels on you and think about where you are now and where some of those so-called athletes or coaches are now? What's that feeling been like for you?
It's been nothing but motivation. Like my dad has done a good job at, filtering the stuff I hear and the stuff I don't hear. And the stuff that I did hear is nothing but motivation to me. I've always been the person that's been in the gym every day, always worked out every day. And, it finally got to a point where I said, I want to prove everybody wrong because that was the biggest thing everyone said about me was that they thought I was out of shape, even though, cardiovascularly, I never really was out of shape. And I was always strong, but I got to a point now where I wanted to pass the eye test. And now I wanted my body to show that I'm in shape without actually guys having to, see it. I wanted to show like by you looking at me, you can see that I'm in shape. So really everything they said about me was just motivation and it drove me to be better every day.
Right. I remember when we was over there at University of Portland, you remember that day I was holding a little pad and we was doing them drills. I'm like, you was kind of, I think we was working on your post-up game. I'm like, okay, Leland, he kind of strong. But now I'm like, you in boxer shape now. I could see that where you done leaned out where, okay, you could put him on the front cover. Might have to put him in front of Floyd or Errol Spence or somebody,
Yeah. I was going to ask him the outside interferences or the outside adulation that you get, because I don't know about you, Trey. When you were in was it Omaha? Mm-hmm. How many people did you guys get at your game?
Like 1,400.
Okay. Jazz, how many people did you guys get at Portland?
Maybe 2,000, 3,000, I mean, the most we'd have was maybe like 5,000-6,000, but that was because of a Gonzaga game that everybody was Gonzaga fans. So
Now, how do you adjust your mentality to receiving all the adulation that you guys are getting with 10,000 people in the building? How do you guys deal with that? Because you guys come from small program.
yeah, the way I look at it is nothing really changes. You know, like it helps. It absolutely helps to have all the fans, and you know they give you great energy. But you know, coming from a school that didn't have fans, you had to pick yourself up, and you had to be ready to play regardless. So you know, it really shouldn't change anything. Regardless, you should be ready to play every single game, whether you have fans or not. And really just being able to have fans and all that support, it should do nothing but hype you up even more, which should elevate your game.
Sure. No, I basically agree with everything he just said. Like, I come from a program where you had to play for the 14 or 15 other guys with the same jersey on, basically. I mean, you had a couple people there cheering you on, but none that you could really hear, I guess. So, kind of like what he's saying, you had to play for the people who was in the same jerseys as you, and the coaches were wearing the same colors as you as well. And that's what I basically pick up now. I look at myself as being sort of an energy guy, and you know, with that being said, I got to do you got to play no matter who's in the crowd. Like we about to go on a road stand right now where we about to have 10,000 fans against us. And so like, what you doing? It's like, so what can you do now? It's like, so you're gonna be hearing boos. You're not gonna be able to hear the play call. You're not gonna be able to hear switches, communications on ball screens. So it's like, what can you do now? So it's like that. You know, I think that actually helped me playing with a team that you only have 1,000, 2,000 people in the crowd cheering for you, or because you had to find your own energy to come into the game anyways. And so with 10,000 now, it just helps you even more, you know, stretches and games and runs and stuff. But otherwise, you know,
Okay, dealing with a guy like Muss, how do you, knowing that he's very, very hard on his assistant coaching staff, and he goes through assistants every year. Mm-hmm. How do you guys? What's the difference between dealing with him and you as a player dealing with him? And how do you? What is it that makes you stick in there and them leave? How do you guys deal with that?
Oh, I think just understand. I kind of don't know Jazz's situation with his last coach, but my situation, my last coach, could be different with his. But understanding that it's like this guy understands and knows so much about the game of basketball, and so he might be hard on you. But you, at the end of the day, you want a coach to want perfection, if that makes sense. You want a coach that wants to win every single game by a lot of points. You want a coach that wants to coach you for 40 minutes, not for 27 minutes, not for 30 minutes. And he wants to coach you when you're on the bench. You want a coach that wants to coach you when you're on the sideline at practice. That's the type of thing that I've learned and I've adjusted to with him. Is that it's okay. Like, he wants perfection, but I want perfection out of myself too. You got to want perfection out of yourself first. And I think Coach Muss, you know, he loves basketball and he loves winning, and that's the type of player I am. And he wants the best out of you, and I want the best out of myself too. So it's kind of how hard do you want him to push you? It's how hard do you want to push yourself? So you have to, and then I think that kind of levels with how much you can take from Coach Muss.
Yeah, going off of that, like Muss is like a person, you know, he's really passionate about what he does, and he loves players who are also passionate about what they do. So it's really just about, like Trey said, it's about how much you want it. And, you know, Muss is going to push you to the point where he wants you to be your very best. And it's either going to break you or it's going to make you. And at that point, it's for you to figure out in yourself if you're tough enough mentally to deal with that. And honestly, as a player, if you want to be a pro, every coach is going to be like that. And can't do this no more. It's only going to make you better.
And yeah, kind of like what he just said, and kind of just to conclude on everything that Jazz just said is, you're not going to like every coach you play for. So how are you going to deal with that person? And then if it's a situation where but he might have your back one day. You might need him one day. So it's like, you know, you got to just go hard and you got to deal with it. Really, it's kind of like any grown man having any type of job.
Now, Jazz, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
You know, I've been knowing Leland for almost 20 years. So Leland, you know, at any time he's subject to say something off the wall, you know, and then growing up with him being your coach, you know, that's your dad. What's it like when you hear, you know, you might hear a coach say something crazy or off the wall, but you've been trained already a certain way, and kind of like what y'all are alluding to right now. How do you deal with that where you might catch yourself? A coach might say something, you might freeze, being like, "Oh, okay, I've been listening to my dad for all these years." What has that transition been like for you?
It's definitely it's different, but it's also the same because like I realized that, you know, with my dad being my trainer my entire life, no coach can really say the things that my dad can say to me. You know what I'm saying? No coach can really get to me the way my dad can. And it's really just up to me to be able to filter out what is basically what my dad always told me is listen to what he's saying and not how he's saying it. And that's actually what Musk says as well. It's just about getting the message rather than looking at the way he's saying it. You know what I'm saying? So if he's yelling and screaming, it's more about staying even keeled and just listening to what he's trying to tell you to do rather than having a reaction. Because if you react, then both sides are reacting, and then it's just going to be a hostile environment. And you know, you can't win having the player and the coach getting into it all the time.
Yeah, you know, I like what y'all saying because it really alludes to on a deeper level. And me and Leland, we've been talking about this. You know, what would you say to the young person out there as far as how they need to either cultivate, calibrate, or develop their emotional intelligence, you know, walking into like the situations that y'all are in, or how people, they might aspire to something or dream about it, but then once they do get it, they really don't know how to deal with it once they're in that Division I situation, especially if they've been coddled for so long, or they get to a point where they happen to be good enough to get a scholarship to University of Washington, you know, or going to UNLV, or ending up at University of Portland or Nevada or UCLA. What would you say to that person as far as where they need to develop their emotions, you know, or getting to that point to handle their emotions from an efficient standpoint and not getting themselves or not reacting emotionally?
You just have to understand that, like, you don't know everything. Like, there's people on this earth that just know more about you in every aspect of life. And you have to understand as a young man growing up that, you know, you're going to go through things, you're going to learn stuff, and you just have to understand that, you know, those people are trying to help you at the end of the day. They're not, you know, they're your coach, they're your dad, they're your parents, whatever. You got to understand that they're looking out for you at the end of the day. You can't look at it as they're coming at you or they're trying to insult you in some way. It's more about just trying to help you to be your best. And, you know, if you can understand that, you can go a long way.
Kind of just to add on what he said, some coaches, I'm not going to say all coaches is like this, but there's some coaches, they're doing stuff on purpose, like to see what your breaking point is. Musk talks about it a lot. What's your breaking point? Some guys coming to practice and we're 10 minutes in and some guys are already drifting and looking around and not really paying attention. Some guys is halfway through practice and some guys can go the whole way through practice without breaking. And I think a thing about that is, like, if he can say something to you in practice and you break, it's a mental note. So he's like, can I trust him with on the road down 5, 2 minutes left in the game, and 10,000 people is yelling something at him? Can I trust him when, you know, and I need a lot of things are going wrong on the court, the other team's on a 10-0 run, and I need him to settle things down and to make a smart play. So you got to understand that sometimes coaches are just trying to get under your skin and see kind of where you at. Like, because like I said, high school and college is different. And there's going to be some things going on through a college basketball game. The biggest thing that changes through college and high school is how long you're playing. Like, so there's going to be things throughout the whole college game. A lot of things are going to go your way. A lot of things aren't going to go your way. So can you keep yourself under control in a practice for him to trust you in a game? And so you got to just understand that mentally, that, you know, you got to just keep your calm. You got to keep calm. You got to stay focused, whatever anyone is saying to you. Because you got to just take in everything anyone's saying to you anyways. But then can you just understand that it's a test? Sometimes this is a test, man. And can you just pass the test?
Leland, you got anything else you want to add?
Nah, man, this was a great interview. If I would have had a younger team, or I did back in the day, I wish I would have had a Trey to play with Jazz, because one, we would have built a long-lasting friendship, kinship, and I'm just glad that Musk stuck him in the room with a like-minded soul. You know, me and you've been talking about spirit and the soul.
That's right.
And these guys are connected at the soul, along with guys like Jordan, Caroline. Because you already know, Deshaun, when you come into the yard with a dog, if you don't bite back, he's gonna take advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? And both of these individuals are biting dogs. And one coach once said to me at Western Oregon, I said, man, I looked at the play. I said, oh, I like him. He said, oh, yeah, Leland, that dog, he don't just bark. He bites too. And I love them type of dogs. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, most definitely. You know, well, go ahead and handle y'all's business tonight, man. Leland, what I want you to do is text me Tre'Shawn's first and last name so I had a correct spelling right when I put this out.
I got you.
Yeah. Okay, then. Yeah, handle y'all's business tonight. I'll talk to y'all later.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having us on, man.
The Sports Mastery Workbook was created for the student athlete and the parent to work through together. The Sports Mastery Workbook was created for the student athlete and the coach to work through together. It was created in a sense and in a way to bridge the gap in communication between these parties and build a successful relationship dynamic. To learn more, visit sportsmastery.com/workbook or check out the show notes page and click on the link.